Okay, part 2, where I am sufficiently... it's only been like 5 minutes for that. But I am now sufficiently equipped to sanitize a really foul snake bin. And Oro, this is his feeding bin. This is his transport bin. It's also her transport bin. It's also what I like to call jail, which is where I put him anytime he's being a jerk and being in the way. So he's up there. You can't see him. He's on my desk. And Leviathan is still back here. This is a bucket filled with water. It also has 1 part white vinegar to 10 parts water in it. And it has dish soap, which is unscented, but I don't know, I just feel weird not putting any soap in it. It also seems to help get the most foul parts out. I've also nixed Mocha's inclusion, so she is now locked out of my room and will probably headbutt the door in a second. If something is gross, I tend to just dunk it in, which I will be doing with the plant in a second. Yeah, I mean, you can use a rag for this. I don't really have a snake rag at the moment, so I just use snake paper towels. So, Lindsay, you said you wanted a blood python, and I don't know how disgusting they are compared to hognoses, but if they're anything like hognoses, have fun. Because this will be your life. I get to do this twice a week. Not twice a week, twice a month. Because they're disgusting. Because, as you can see, he just cakes it all on here. It gets in everything. It gets really gross. It stinks. And it's been a week and a half. So if I would wait the whole month to clean it out, I think I would move out, to be honest. I would just leave. Because it would be that disgusting. And I'm not even that sensitive to smell. Because I don't have a working nose at the moment. Which you can probably hear in my voice. Sorry. Okay. That's disgusting. It's also fairly hot water. Doink. And time for scrubbing. The pee comes off pretty easy, which is how I know it's pee. Because the poop, you have to scrub. And he just smears it everywhere, and since it's this nasty, sloppy mess and not like actual poop, you have to work at it, and it's gross. And so I end up needing to sanitize this whole thing. I can't reuse any of that aspen because he's peed in it multiple times, and since he's a hognose and he's disgusting, and he burrows, he pees in his burrows and he poops in his burrows, which means I can't find it until I completely open this up, and by then I might as well just do this, to be honest, because he's gross. And I can't reuse any of that aspen because, oh, you are so disgusting. It's got all kinds of ammonia on it. Come off. This poop is proving to be difficult, so I will likely have to come back over this a second time. That poop came off easily. And I know that's poop because that's brown, that's not pee. Yeah, working with any animal, you learn real quick not to get grossed out by this kind of stuff. You just can't, because they're disgusting. Animals are gross. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise, that snakes are not the most foul creatures to have ever slithered this earth, because they're lying to you. Or they've never had a snake. Those are your options. I want you to come off. Why is it just this poop? I've got every other instance of poop except that. And handy dandy trash bag. Yeah, I don't double dip. Once I touch poop with this stuff, I don't go back into the... And I think Becca Marie wanted a hognose. Yeah, if you get one, this is what you get. Do this twice a month, every month, or risk, you know, a freaking URI because they're ridiculously sensitive to ammonia. The cat is currently glaring at me because I chased her away one too many times. She's actually over there, right behind the computer, giving me her best "I'm angry at you" glare. Okay, that's disgusting. But that is what I go through. Like I said, I don't know if a blood python would be as bad. I've never had a blood before. I'm actually fairly new to snake ownership, guys. Like, don't let my confidence... Yeah, don't let my confidence fool you. I've only had snakes for 2 years. 1 year, actually 1.5. Because Quetzal came to me at almost half a year old, and he's almost 2. So that's how long I've had snakes. That's it. I just research the heck out of stuff, and I use what works. And I don't use what doesn't. And, you know, whatever. That is so gross. And the reason I'm doing it like this, and not just dumping it out, is actually because my parents would probably strangle me into next week if they found any sort of snake poop in their bathroom. So, you have to remember my parents are not snake people. They're kind of grossed out by the fact that I have frozen rodents in the downstairs freezer. I told them at least I don't feed live. Because, you know, you'd have a bunch of rodents and they wouldn't be frozen, and you would probably fuss at me about that, about how cruel I'm being to those poor mouses. I'm also doing it this way because I want... Ah! There's the rest of that poop. I was about to say because I want to get that poop, but it just came off now. Let it soak long enough. You little jerk. Oh. And the reason I use white vinegar instead of bleach is because they do the same thing, except I'm really sensitive to bleach and I will cough. And considering hognoses are already sensitive to smells, I'm not gonna risk that. I actually started using white vinegar when I had my corn snake, my little Yor, but unfortunately, I actually never got to use it with him because I bought it and then he died, and that was upsetting. So I used it for Quetzal, and I seem to like the result well enough. So now I use it for all the snakes. What is that? A scratch, and not a crack. Okay. This thing is gross. Oro is currently headbutting his jail. He's upset about that. Okay, so that's clean. It's dry, which is the other reason I dry it instead of letting it drip dry. It's faster, to be honest. And he also gets an aspen cake. Now I put less aspen in his anyway. But he does usually get more. I'm actually going to experiment and give them about equal amounts. And see if they like the less better, because then I can fit more stuff. And I like giving them stuff to interact with. I know a couple people watching this keep snakes in racks, and that's fine, you know, if that works for you. I don't like it. I like to be able to see my snakes interacting with their environment, and I usually can't in a rack type environment because they're in a shelf. You can't fit that much in there. I don't know, I like giving them the stimulation in their own enclosures. Leviathan is already exploring hers, so whatever. You know, maybe it counts for something, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Nobody ever does any sort of study on this on snakes, and I think it's really, really bizarre that we keep saying, snakes don't need this, snakes do need that. And it's like, we don't know. We know that they need food, and we know they need a certain temperature, and that's pretty much it. We don't know if they actually need 2 hides. A lot of snakes don't. Some snakes do. Some snakes need 5. We don't know if they actually, you know... That's a cat toy that just fell in snake water. Fantastic. Don't know if they actually need that 5% extra whatever that they get from, that is still soapy. That extra 5% of nutrition that they get from live. Actually, they don't even get that from live. They get it from any fresh food, so you could still just feed fresh pre-kill. It's still really no reason. Like, if you're going to use nutrition as a thing, just feed fresh pre-kill. Just kill it yourself. That's what I did. Except for the hognose food, I just killed it myself. Very easy. Very painless for the rat, you know, just whack, done. Doesn't twitch, doesn't move, doesn't cry in pain, it's just dead. Good. That's how it's supposed to be. Or whatever. Yeah. Odo has these frillies on his, which everybody likes to make fun of. Hi! Oh, he's really confused. Poor baby. I need you to move your face. Odo is my very, very chill, laid-back snake. He is completely unaffected by everything. I could probably have a nuclear holocaust right next to his cage, and he wouldn't care. He's that resilient. It's kind of funny. Cool! That's the other thing I like about white vinegar. So I just dipped it in. I dipped the tip of this in because it was covered in poop and it was gross. I blabbered on camera for 5 minutes, and I looked back up. And it's actually, I mean, it's wet, but it doesn't have any more poop on it. And this cage is good. It smells like aspen and not like stinky hognose. I'm getting all the suds off of this, but it's okay if this is still wet, because white vinegar is actually not toxic. well, not toxic fumes anyway, and he's not going to lick this. Scoot. Scoot. Move your butt. Okay, so this is Otto's finished bin. And I'll give him a climbing thing later. He actually doesn't understand climbing, so I don't know if I will spend too much money on it. I might just go out in the yard and get a big stick and bake it. He likes these kinds of hides, these coconut hides, a lot better than the log. He sits on the log. I don't think he understands he's supposed to be in the log. Versus Leviathan, who likes her log and won't touch her coconut. They're weird. Hognoses just break every rule. Whatever. He has this guy, which is a Tupperware hide that I made, which he sometimes spends some time inside. I half bury it, and he likes that. And then he's got this, which is something that was a little too big for Quetzal's bin that I bought. And he likes that a lot, actually. He spends a lot of time in there. Which is why I'm not sure if I'll get him a climbing thing, because he seems to like the coverage more. Whatever. And there's his water bowl, his little shallow dish that I have to refill every freaking 12 hours, because he's a jerk. But yeah, that's that. Thread the probe down inside. Thank you very much. You know what? Actually, there we go. Ta-da! Actually, you know what? I don't like that. See, as you continue to own this cage, it stops being a pain in the butt. Thread that back through. It stops being a pain in the butt to open all the time. Yeah, he's going right back for his thing. He really likes it. It also has really convenient, these two really convenient holes right at the top. Which I can only assume are supposed to be for probes. And that's what is in this hole and this hole of probes. Her thermometer actually sits inside. His does not. Whatever. Either way. I tend to buy a bunch of different products, and if I don't like how they are, but they're functional, I keep them anyway, but I just complain about it. Because I'm weird, I guess. Where? Oh, there. Okay, so that's the hog noses being cleaned out, and then I have to get Goo Gone to scrape that off. And I guess part 3 will be me wrangling Quetzal. I'll have to sanitize my hands first. Okie doke. And